clairvoyance of being press is limited, and so we rely on press releases. The best and most obvious point to start in regards to gaming news is Nintendo's big release in the middle of last week, the Nintendo Labo. The Nintendo naming habit has continued on with very odd names, so there's the Labo. The Labo, or to put it more appropriately, Labos, are cardboard shells that you buy and then you can slot the Switch controllers and screen and everything into it to make a handheld usable toy. After that, there isn't really that much said. This time Nintendo really has gone for something very, very simplistic to add to the console. It's a slightly better move than the thought they had last time of adding a rather engorged and large tablet to the Wii. 2 full Labo packs will be coming out on April 20th, and a much smaller pack that is basically just stickers will come out at the same time. The first Labo kit is going to be the Variety Kit. It's going to be the kit where you can make the RC car, the fishing rod, the house, the motorbike and the fishing rod. That is going to be priced at $69.99. The second kit, the robot kit, is much more streamlined as it's only made to make the robot suit, the one with the backpack and the gloves and the kicky feet. That is going to be priced at $79.99. The small add-on pack with the stickers and various other cosmetic additives that you can add to the cardboard is going to be priced at $9.99. The Labo is an interesting move for Nintendo, it being a more assured move towards toys rather than video games or their known franchises. It adds to the public perception that the Switch has reinvigorated that Nintendo is a company that makes toys. It'll be very interesting to see how the Labo does, because the consumer base for the Switch has been ever increasing, and it is a rather pricey thing to just have cardboard. Just stick cardboard onto your console to make toys. That, well, in the case of the RC cars, you may want to actually watch your kids when you're actually playing with it. You wouldn't really want to see the rather expensive Switch slowly scuttle itself off the dinner side table. The next bit of major news to cover is with the Overwatch League that started last week. The Overwatch League, or the O.W.L, is an esport league. It's the biggest move Blizzard has done to try and take Overwatch to be a large esport league, similar to Counter-Strike or League of Legends. To help push the league into esportdom, as it were, they signed a deal with Twitch and MLG for the live streaming rights. China, as with many of the other live streamed events, has its own streaming platforms that are solely for China. In the press release about the first 4 days, the first set of live streamed events, they said the opening day drew an average audience per minute of 408,000 viewers, with an average score of 280,000 viewers per minute for the entire week. More than 10 million viewers tuned in over the 4-day period via Twitch and MLG, with the peak concurrent online audience for Twitch and MLG being 437,000 viewers. The response by Palit Vlestia, the CEO of MLG, said, "We are thrilled by the overwhelming response to the Overwatch League's opening week of play." Nate Nazir, the Overwatch League commissioner, also responded, "Opening week was that coming out party for the fans, both in person at Blizzard area Los Angeles and tuned in by the millions all over the world, and for the players, those who love the game came through crystal clear." I'm not really sure if saying that the popularity of the event was a coming out party for the fans of Overwatch, as Overwatch is one of the most popular games at the moment, only beaten by the current esports and games like Battlegrounds. I'm not surprised the league is really popular, as the game is really popular. The league didn't necessarily add to its popularity. It already was explosively popular before the league, and that's pretty much the only thing to really say about the Overwatch League. It's an esport league for a game that is popular with players who like esports, so I'm not necessarily surprised. It's good that the league has done well, but I will sidle up with some of the critics who say that from a viewer's perspective, watching an Overwatch match is a lot more busy, a lot more colourful and chaotic than other esports. Makes it kind of hard to follow for people who are new to the game or new to the realms of esports. Even the pace of Counter-Strike does not match the character velocity that can happen in Overwatch. with those two major stories, here are two stories that are a little bit smaller. The first is about Devcom, an industry event that goes on at the same time as Gamescom around August. Devcom, much like Gamescom, has a very big industry presence and it's very much for the industry. The primary point they wanted to put out with this press release is saying that the event is going to be a lot more streamlined, primarily being not colliding with Gamescom, which is their cooperative event. This year Devcom will go on from the 19th and the 20th of August, with Gamescom going on from the 21st of August being the press day, with the public days being the 22nd to the 25th of August. After that, there isn't really that much to say about it. There's not really that much set in stone at this point, as it is very much a developer event. It's very much an industry event with press talks and meetings with other industry people. So if you are an indie developer within Germany, or if you're going to be at Gamescom anyway, then Devcom is going to be a good place for industry people to talk to other industry people, go to talks and help learn about marketing and game development. And the next story we have is about We Happy Few, and it is good yet bad news. The good news is that they have announced a second playable character, a female playable character, who in the announcement video has interactions with Arthur. This game becomes more interesting by the moment. But the bad news is that the game has been delayed. The new release date has now just been tentatively set as summer 2018. But with Compulsion Games being a game developer that has been extremely open about the way it's been developing its game, they actually talked about why they delayed the game. And it's mostly around polishing. They don't want to rush the game, they don't want to force out a game they feel is incomplete, they feel that is not as good as it could be, so they're holding it back for a little while longer. And at least looking at this from a date's perspective, it's only a delay by a couple of months at most. So it is a delay and it is a bit of bad news, but it's not as big as it could be. Many games have been delayed for a lot longer, and even after that they still came out quite bad. And before we go, as with every week, here is the All Formats UK charts, again graciously supplied by UKIE Ltd. Call of Duty has taken the spot this week. GTA 5 has only slipped to third, so you cannot kill GTA 5. And the rest of the chart is pretty much as to be expected, except for that number 10, who, in a very Japanese name, I have to actually check it. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth Hacker Memory. And really don't try and make those titles roll off the tongue, do they? But that one is a new release, and it's gone straight to number 10 within the UK. That is quite impressive. And to end, here are the games that are going to be released this week. You can pause the video if you want to read them all. And that's it for the news for today. If you found this video informative, please do consider subscribing and sharing the video around. It really does help. And I will see you next week for the next Press Rush.